We are less than 24 hours away from the launch of Phase 3 inside of Once Human Way of Winter, and today I'm going to break down everything we can expect to see coming inside of this phase. The video shouldn't take too long because there's not a whole lot that we know about Phase 3. They posted an update blog back before the season launched where they laid out a brief description of what we can see inside of each phase, and here it reads that the pro mode dungeons are going to be available as well as the seasonal progress task, Eliminate the Chaos Weaver. Now, the seasonal progress task is actually something that came out in Phase 2 as well, and honestly, dungeons going into pro mode is really nothing content-wise either. But if we jump into the game and look at the Phase 3 description, we get a little bit more interesting information to look at. Over here it says, humanity's strength shows itself during great crises like a spark that lights up the north. You must work together with other metas to build a home. Now, typically these first descriptions of phases are just lore-filled descriptions rather than anything gameplay-wise. For example, in Phase 2, it reads, lava flows in surges and the scorching air carries away all hope. The extreme climate brings only arduous challenges. Whereas in We Know Phase 2 unlocked a whole new portion of the map, hard mode dungeons, etc., etc. So the way that I read this is that basically all we can expect in Phase 3 is pro mode dungeons as well as a little bit of a refresh to defeating the Chaos Weavers, and that this description here is more so just telling us to build up our thermal towers and build up our homes, probably defensively, because I believe if we look a little bit ahead into Phase 4, we have the Frost and Flame event, and I believe this is where Chaos Weavers start to spawn and attack thermal towers. So honestly, this next week here inside of Phase 3 is just gonna be an extension to the grind, if you will. So far, this season has been fun, don't get me wrong. I've spent a lot of time in this season, but there are a lot of glaring issues with it as well. The thermal towers, I think, were a really good idea. They just were not implemented properly, and they were incredibly buggy, especially at the start, and even continuing in today with the inability to gain apples, causing upgrades to be a pain. Like, it just really seems like this season just did not get put through the testing that it needed to get put through. And this was delayed, or this felt delayed. We're like months out from the launch. We were months in between the first season ending and this season opening, at least on the PvE side of things. So I'm a little bit concerned for the future. Whether or not they can even come up with a new scenario by the time we get to Phase 5 is beyond me, especially with the posts that they laid out asking for other people's ideas on scenarios. If I had to guess, they have something planned for this portion of the map here, this backside of the map that we were not able to access during the first scenario is going to be opened up in some way, shape, or form. I think after that is when the game will transition into a full map, more permanent scenario style, but that's really me just speculating and looking deep into the future, I guess. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think about the future of Once Human and, more importantly, Phase 3. But that's all I wanted to break down inside of this video. I hope you guys have an amazing day. I'm out.